Stand clear.
100% Wild Podcast.
So for all you listeners,
Hello, and welcome to
definitely not your favorite outdoor podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Drury Outdoors 100% Wild Podcast. This is episode 325, and we're powered by DeerCast.
You're Tim Chelsvik.
And you are Matt Drury.
I am. With all that comes with it.
Yeah, what does come with it?
Just a lot of problems, I think.
A lot of problems. Terry's not helping fix your ponds.
Yeah, man, people really got a kick out of that.
The longest no in human history.
The reel I put up on Instagram, Ben put together a reel for us, and of me asking Terry if I could have the high lift, if he could just swing by my farm to help with some ponds, and he just ignored me. And then he gave me a no.
Yeah, eventually he got around to it.
Yeah, people seem to like that.
Fix your own ponds, Matt.
That's right. Turns out they're just not going to be fixed.
Well, that stinks.
That's all right.
Yeah, but hey, so we're getting some rain, just a little bit. We got some rain last night. I went out and put some lime on one of my plots while it was raining. It was a lot of fun.
Scott said, and the rain gauge and DeerCast for our farm, the Rawls farm, was 0.45 inches, I think. 3/4. Oh, 3/4. Even better. Ooh. So he had just went out there and sprayed the special clover concoction, as we call it. And I think he was also using that Deer Grow plot start because you can mix it in. Was that separate or same application?
Plot boost.
Plot blue. Plop.
Plop, plop.
Plop, plop.
Easy for you to say.
So I'm sick.
You're sick, yes. More so than usual.
Yeah, not sick in the mind.
Yeah.
I'm actually physically ill.
Well, I think one of our listeners might be sick. And I don't remember. I apologize ahead of time. But we had one of our Rack Pack members say, hey, I just got done listening to every single podcast you guys have published so far.
Yeah. So you mean sick in the head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Well, that could be all the listeners.
We should push the Rack Pack more than we do. Like, there's some funny stuff that goes up in there.
Yeah. So going back, it was plot boost. Deer Grow's plot boost. He added in the mixture. So the whole point was we saw that we looked at the extended forecast and DeerCast. We saw that there was a pretty decent chance of rain for Saturday, Sunday. Mm-hmm. So on Thursday, he went up and because we planted a new clover plot. That was probably March when we did that. And when we were up there like a week ago, you could see some real good, the biologic clovers in there, but there's tons of grass and, wheat and whatever else. And we felt like it might be choking it out. Yeah. So he went up, sprayed that instead of mowing it, because that I guess this isn't the right time to do that. So he went up, sprayed it.
Allegedly.
And then added the plot boost from Deer Grow.
Okay.
And so then the rain hit a couple days after that, so it gave it time for the mixture to work to kill all these grasses. And then the rain should have took the plot boost down into the soil and helped the clover come up. So we're hoping leading in, because you look at the 14-day. You add on rain gauge, you can go in there and go out 14 days into the future, and there's nothing good coming. So we're already in a drought. Like I've went back. This is another cool part of the rain gauge. I went back for the last 3 or 4 years to see what my yearly totals should be up to this year, what they've averaged. And I'm 6 inches low on water, low on rainfall total, dating back several years. So if it's that bad this early, I'm just scared that it's going to be really, really bad come August. So I'm hoping that my clover doesn't burn up. Yeah, it's got a good chance that it can come back and you can do some stuff to it in the early fall when rain should start coming back, hitting again. But anyways, that's what we're up to.
Or you could end up in a situation like Terry was talking about, in that the annual average, if you're behind at this point in the year, it's very rare for a spot to not hit its annual average. So you're going to get it. It's just a matter of when it's allocated. And if you haven't gotten it so far, you're going to get it in spades coming up sometime soon.
Yeah, that's the theory. And he's right, for the most part. But if you think about it, when do you need the rain, though? You need it. I need it, now, and I need it August, September. You're not going to get it when you need it. It's a good chance if it's so far behind now. October, November, December might be when you get all the moisture.
Unless we start seeding the clouds.
But they, Dad talked about I was with him this weekend, and he was talking again about La Nina and El Nino. He talked about it a little bit on the podcast.
You talking about the Chris
day.
Farley sketch?
Yeah.
Good.
No. And I think he said officially it has changed over to the El Nino.
Mm.
Everybody's looking at me. Yeah. Alan's. Officially. Alan
Alan's
said this
weighing
past
in.
week, and officially El Nino started.
Alan's
And
on
that's-
El Nino watch.
I believe that's where they said the drought part comes in. So if it's just now officially starting, it could get ugly here for the next few months, which you feel bad. I mean, we're just playing
Your
around.
livelihood is not.
Yeah, we're just
attached.
playing. Well, our livelihood is. I mean, that's kind of a wrong assumption there, because our whole
Not to the same extent that a farmer's livelihood.
no. But if you think about it, no, and I'm not even comparing it. A
Mhm.
farmer, yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was watching Don Kiske on Instagram, and he was talking about he was spraying his bean fields, and he was talking about how they haven't had any rain since he planted it in April, and it was still up a few inches, but he was spraying because then he had spider mites and this and that and other, and he was like, man, we get some 90-degree days. He's like, I'm toast. And so yes, you feel very bad for the people who's that's all they do, and that's all tied to farming. It's tough, but in our business, the way we hunt, it is pretty much tied to farming, and the fact that everything we do is trying to get deer to food.
Yeah.
So, I mean, can you switch your strategies? Yes, you can get in the timber. You can.
It's tough.
But we've pretty much laid out our plan 15 years ago, and it's all based on killing them around food source.
Yeah, it's tough. For folks wondering what El Nino is, we know it's Spanish for the Nino.
L.
There you go. That's a throwback. So the DeerCast user, the Rack Pack member that has watched all of our episodes, Phil Tony.
Phil.
Or Phil Thoney. I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
MVP.
Yeah. He's got some staying power, man, to stick through.
And he said he enjoys them.
I want to put him on a lie detector.
Even Siri said sorry.
Siri knows.
All right, so what are we up to this episode? We don't have a guest. It's going to be kind of a
Nope, we don't.
BS session.
We've got a real wild clip, which happens to be one of the hardest things I say every week. Real wild clip. Struggle with it.
Okay.
But it is two predators matching wits.
All right.
So you'll want to stay tuned for that.
Well,
Don't walk away.
I have no choice but to stay tuned.
It would be funny if you just walked off set at some point. Yeah, like our president. Just kind of meandering away from something that's happening.
Walking in the background while you're doing the podcast. I'm tripping over things on stage, pointing at him.
Walking between the cameras.
Poor guy. He's just so old.
Ooh, it's not great. And then Stephen Mansfield, we were helping him out on this week's question of the day. And we've got a wildlife word that, again, I think you are going to have a hard time.
Thanks, Tim.
Not getting the answer, but just comporting yourself.
I'm going to blame it on my abilities not being full function today.
What percentage are you at right now?
Well, to start off, I spent the weekend kidless with my wife at Lake of the Ozarks with a few of our friends.
Okay.
So I'm dumbed down a few notches from the things that we partook in over the weekend. Like, and then I ended up with some sort of summer cold on top of it. So I'm drugged up. I'm
hopped up on goofballs.
I'm low on sleep, and I'm high on life.
All right. Well, this could be a really good
show
show then.
So,
I'm out there, Jerry.
Last week when we talked about the show, we talked about wanting to do something where like we throw out some topics that are recent into the news and we kind of touch on them. And then we talked about doing some sort of like Jeopardy where you and I would match wits. And I mean, I feel like you would be embarrassed by this, so that you guys didn't end up doing it. I was out on Friday, so in my head, I'm just thinking you guys didn't execute the plan that we talked about because you didn't want to look bad.
Let's go with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't that I was otherwise engaged.
I do think a Jeopardy style, like the Jeopardy boards behind us here, and we could be like,
oh yeah.
Alan, I'll take fart noises for 200.
Well, if any of our Rack Pack members want to supply us with some questions, guys, shoot them to us in the Rack Pack because that would be
but that wouldn't be fair because we would see the questions.
We'll have one of these guys.
But you'd still see the question.
They could. Well,
there's no way if they put it in the Rack Pack. There's no way around us not.
What if I
seeing the
promise
question.
not to look?
Okay,
because Scott's in there,
and I could just see just so you could not look dumb on the show, knowing all the answers ahead of time, just like your little wildlife word, make me look bad. And
that's
I'm
been
gonna
the long play for this whole thing.
Doing
My
a good job
in general. That's
look
Mark
bad.
pulled me aside. He was like, "Hey, listen,
I don't believe this.
I know we talked about DeerCast and stuff, but you just need to bury Matt."
Yeah. Well, joke's on him.
It's already happened.
No.
Then man walking. Oh no, I'm buried.
Yes.
Oh man. Well, at least we cleared that up.
So, anyways, we're gonna go through some. I did my homework about 20 minutes ago.
What?
I thought we were doing
What a
Jeopardy.
departure.
You guys failed me.
Yeah.
So
maybe next week. Tune in for episode number 326. I did spend a little time last week watching a DeerCast review that a young man on YouTube did.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't very helpful.
Was it a bad review?
It was another relatively uninformed interview. Like, oh, I haven't used that feature much, so I don't know what that is, or I don't see the point in that, and just not. There wasn't a whole lot of there.
Yeah.
It was long, so
That's all right.
give that to him.
The YouTubes
So
takes all types.
So I'm curious. Scott showed me this. It's a new trend that's happening, and we talk about eating wild game and trying to keep your protein intake up. Would you eat meat from a vending machine?
Nope.
Really?
No.
Pack of brats out of a vending machine?
Nope. No way in hell.
Beef jerky?
Beef jerky's different.
Beef patties?
No. No. In fact, I think it's gross to eat the sandwiches that
The
are
Lancashire
prepackaged
sandwich?
at the gas station.
Coming from the Casey's Pizza guy?
That's different. They make it at
I knew
Casey's.
you would get emotional.
That's bullshit.
No.
I mean,
take that back.
This is coming from a guy who probably would never eat Casey's Pizza. So
I'd look at it.
well, you're missing
I've
out.
heard of it.
I mean, that's not even a fair comparison. You don't know when the sandwich was made.
Within the year.
And even the sandwiches that they make there at the gas station, I'm just not cool with.
The roller dogs.
Well, that's different.
Okay.
That's heated.
And you can watch them be heated.
Yeah, I mean, if you want the philosophy, I could take it through it.
It's so Scott was at a winery and we were just talking last week about
fancy.
people selling
La-di-da, Scott.
in Japan. Apparently bear meat vending machines are becoming a thing.
Gross.
I could see
What's this got to do with Scott at a winery?
if it was Scott was telling me about these Japanese bear meat vending machines, and then he saw a meat vending machine while he was at a winery this past weekend. So there's the full circle. But Scott, correct me if I'm wrong. These were uncooked like beef patties and uncooked brats. And
It's a
German town, so they've got a lot of schnitzel and stuff in the vending machine.
I mean, I don't know about. So it was not cooked. No, thanks.
Uncooked.
That's a no for me, dog. I mean, what
And the vending machine is
I'm at the
refrigerated.
winery, and by God, I think I want a brat that I'm gonna make an hour later, maybe 6 hours,
It's a
whenever
very-
my drunk ass goes
It's a
home.
very niche situation someone would have to be in for that
I mean,
to work.
I maybe could see it if they had a bunch of like grill stations set up around the winery.
yeah,
but
grill your own.
I have a hard time believing they do. So
So they don't have to have a retail person there selling it. They just put it in the machine and it does all the
How much did the
they
meat
can avoid
cost?
a retail situation.
no. Scott, how much did the meat cost?
I'm looking at
He's zooming in, trying to
I'll share the
find in.
pictures so you guys can add it in, but
That's what she said.
looks like
We're gonna B-roll this.
Bacon was $6.59
Oh heck,
small pack of bacon, not like a full pound.
that's a big upcharge.
for a small pack. $6.59. This is good. This is good podcasting when we're talking to somebody off mic.
I was thinking back about our Dustin Lynch episode, how much time we spent asking him about other country music artists.
I don't remember it well enough to remember we did that.
Can't see any more of the prices.
All right. So sure enough, Herman Wursthouse. Worst, W-U-R-S-T, not W-O-R-S-T.
Yeah.
You don't want. Oh, they got carrot cakes too. Now that's different. But
Is there an upcharge for salmonella?
I would have to say no thanks. Did you get some?
No.
Seems like something you might do.
I might buy some for the novelty factor.
No way.
And I'd want to see the expiration date.
And that there's no comparison to jerky. Jerky's already cured or whatever. It's already like you're ready to tie into it.
By its
It'd
very
be different
nature.
if the jerky was like, now you go dehydrate it.
Make your own jerky.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that's really any meat that you would buy at the store is make your own jerky. It's DIY jerky.
So
So let it sit out.
yeah, I mean it's a no for me, dog.
That's a no for Matt. It would have to be a very specific circumstance.
Like you're
oh,
starving
Oh, Beth just texted me, said I should pick up some brats on the way home.
Oh.
Here are brats.
at this winery I'm at.
I'll pay the 25% upcharge on them.
No.
Let's go to the phones.
That just seems like a bad idea. What do I know?
We'll see.
I'd like to know what that
I don't know.
fridge vending machine, what temperature it's set at.
A
Goes
cool-
out and there's just flies
A
inside
cool
the vending
42
machine.
degrees. Well, that's when they get up in there with the can of Raid and just spray around a whole bunch. Solves
Yeah.
that problem. Well, how about we?
Can you imagine you're putting $6.49 worth of like loose change into that thing? Like,
Someone probably has. Yeah. Hey, Mom, I need some meat money.
I need money for the
yeah.
vending machine. Oh, you getting Skittles? No. Get a pack of brats that we have to cook when we go home in an hour.
It's kind of like the guys who drive around with a deep freeze in their pickup truck selling meat. It's like you don't know where that meat came from.
Well, hell, I don't trust the guys that do that with ice cream coming around the neighborhood. They got
You've never been to the Ding Ding Man?
the deep freezer inside the rapist van riding around the parking lot.
But if they're playing music, would you go?
Even worse.
Do 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 do
Yeah.
do do do.
The kids hear that, and it's unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
How, like you could kidnap every kid ever, no matter how many times you've told your kids, don't run out to anybody giving away candy. Like
Unless they're playing music.
they hear that
If
music,
they got a speaker system.
they're like zombies. Like
So as a kid, did you ever go and buy ice cream from the ice cream truck?
we had the Schwann's man.
Oh,
We yes, we
Must
did.
be nice.
He didn't have music, but I
He
mean,
pulls up playing like Back in
pre-ordered.
Black or something.
isn't that the weirdest thing? The Schwann's guy comes
Yeah.
through, and you're ordering for the next time. You
My
need
cousin
something.
did that for a while.
It's like, hey, I might need a 30-pack of hot dogs
and drumsticks.
and some dilly bars.
And I got a vending machine I need to stock. So
Golden nugget bars.
Oh, golden
The
nugget
Schwann's
bars.
guy had those the orange ice cream push pops.
like the dreamsicle kind of thing.
No, they're like in that circular cardboard
the
tube.
sherbet thing.
Sherbet.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's nothing better on a hot summer day than going and getting a sherbet push pop.
I want that sound. Nope, I don't want that part. Thank you. But taking the wrapper, like the paper thing
Yeah.
off the top.
Yeah.
and
And then you just go to town.
we were a Popeyes family.
Popeyes. Like
Pop-
the
not the chicken place.
like the show.
not the spinach
Like
eating
the spinach
sailor.
guy?
No, Pop Ice.
Oh, Pop
hyphen
Ice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like
I got fluid in my ear.
Kool-Aid in a little tube
Dude.
that you freeze.
Oh
and
yeah.
Those were legit.
Yeah, my cousins, Jared and Justin Lurk, their mom,
Uh-huh.
they always had the what'd you call it? The
There's Pop Ice and there was Flavor Ice.
flavor ice. I feel like is what was the cheapest version?
I don't know. I think they were both kind of bargain bin.
Well, whatever the cheaper of the two, that would have been what their house is always so hot. It was like their dad wouldn't let them put the air conditioning. Windows were always up. It's like, gee, that's why looking back, that's why they had so much flavor ice. Like, God, I need another flavor ice. I'm dying in here. Let's go outside to get away from the heat in the house.
I fully own the fact that I am cheap. And I will, like, instead of buying Triscuits, I'll buy woven wheats.
Triscuits.
We can't afford, we're not a Triscuit family. We're buying woven wheats.
Triscuits are the
Walmart.
biggest. They're the biggest con in the history of little crackers.
Wow.
And people that like them can go to hell. Triscuits are gross. Triscuits are
I
cardboard.
think we're approaching a nerve here.
You want a good cracker, go with a wheat then.
Well, and that's the other thing. Walmart had, for a while, they called
Thin
them
wheats. Thin wheats. Walmart. They're Waltons.
I told Sophie,
They'll make a buck any which way they can.
I told Sophie, I was like, someday it's very likely you'll end up in counseling talking about thin wheats.
All the cheap shit
and
your dad bought you.
Just so you know, there is another world of brand name foods out there that have regular titles. Like, it's not Dr. Thunder. Most people are drinking Dr. Pepper.
They're going to get to college and they're going to be like, their mind's going to be blown.
Well, that's what I'm hoping to blunt. I'm trying to let them know, like, hey, there is a retail version of this.
You could buy them
out
those
there.
things every once in a while.
Yeah, right.
Pay an extra 50 cents.
That's not happening. We're not a Triscuit family.
Triscuits are trash.
Yeah,
That should
they
be
are.
the Triscuits are trash. And I don't care how much cheese whiz you put on top of it, it's never going to be good because the Triscuit is cardboard.
Bo calls Cheese Whiz Cheese Whizzle.
I like that. For shizzle, my whizzle.
Can I get some Cheese Whizzle? We're for sure not buying Cheese Whizzle. It's like canned cream cheese
Yeah.
food.
It's corn in it. Pop out a corn every once in a while. It's clogged, and then all of a sudden a corn kernel pops out.
Are we talking about Cheese
like a
Whiz or
present.
something else right now?
I don't know.
Bathroom habits with Matt and Tim. Let's hop into the real wild clip because
Well,
this is.
Are we going to go through I did homework.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we said this show was going to be about
I mean, we
topics.
can do this in any order or fashion we want to.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Well, we've already trashed Triscuits.
Not
check
hard to
that off
do.
the list.
And if anybody likes Triscuits, I don't want to see you talking about it in the Rack Pack. You can keep your hot take to yourself.
We will moderate comments.
I had a friend in college, still a good buddy of mine, Brian Michael, always eating Triscuits. Triscuits are horrible. They're the worst.
Did he have too
Just
much
like-
saliva or something?
Just like
Because they'll
Triscuits.
suck the moisture out of your whole body.
That's what she said.
Did she? I'm curious about your preparation here. Like,
It's good.
you have something for the show.
I got notes.
Yeah, you've got two of them there.
3 counting the printout.
Whoa, okay.
Okay.
Fire away.
If anybody would have done homework, we would have footage and clips, and we'd be kind of like the real wild clip. We'd be watching it and commenting on it. That's what
Your vision for the show.
you
was.
didn't envision my envision, as
Okay.
Tommy always tells Terry. So what would have happened when I talked about this next thing is we would be showing it, and I guess producer Matt can put it up in the edit.
Handle it in post.
Yeah, I'm sure he loves this. It's beautiful. I'm sure he loves this. Hey, here's more work to do.
Great. Make a note for yourself, Matt. Here's the time code.
Okay, so did you see? I just saw this yesterday, I think. There was this, I think I saw it on maybe Facebook, but I think it originally was posted on Instagram. This guy had supposedly lassoed a brown bear that was drowning, and then he like brought it over to shore.
Up in Alaska. I
Yeah,
think.
like somewhere off the Kodiak, somewhere in that area. But they said it was like far off Kodiak in the deep sea. So supposedly a bystander that has not been named saw this, brown bear struggling out there, and not like you're gonna jump into action to help a apex predator. So I think he was
You
thinking
wouldn't.
it was gonna like figure it out because they're like supposedly excellent swimmers. All right. So it struggled long enough. It kept going underwater for long enough. The guy goes over and he lassos it. First of all, I mean, this guy's a cowboy. So
Kudos.
he lassoed this brown bear, and I guess he had a long oar, and the brown bear kept trying to get into the boat. And so they're like trying to keep this brown bear at bay while they're also, I guess, trying to get to shore with this thing lassoed to their boat. And so what I had saw was a guy by the name of Wayne McGee posted about it. And then he's getting shit. Like, people are like, this didn't happen and this is fake news and they're great swimmers and all this stuff. But I kept thinking to myself, how did he get the pictures? Or who took the pictures? Like, this, I mean, maybe it's this new AI, because I mean, they're
It's a
pretty
very
legit.
Specific request.
Lassoed brown
please
bear.
produce
Kodiak.
a series of pictures of me of a bear getting lassoed out of the ocean.
So my question to you, sir, myth or not?
I too read the same article.
Oh, but
saw
you
some
didn't
of the
do
pictures.
the homework. Didn't have a post-it
I
note.
was busy watching AI videos of Danny DeVito fighting off flaming pumpkins.
I mean, that does sound interesting.
Yes.
All right, and let me write a note for later.
It never,
11 o'clock hour.
it
Danny
never
DeVito.
once did the thought
AI.
cross my mind that this guy hoaxed it.
Me neither.
Because it's very possible, like, there are currents in the ocean. It's very possible that a bear got pulled into a current and, got pulled farther away from the island chain that he was hoping to go to. And it makes sense. I mean, the pictures looked legit. I could see why he wouldn't want the bear in the boat with him. But I just wondered what the bear was thinking the whole time. Like, oh, these guys are going to come over and kill me. Because it's either, there are very few interactions in a bear's world other than kill or be killed.
Yeah.
But then I thought it'd be funny if they got him to the shore and he came back to the boat and mauled the guys.
Well, that's not really funny.
Didn't happen.
Even though I laughed.
Well, then Scott, I think Scott and I were talking about this story last week, and Scott showed me footage of some guy being taken by a shark somewhere overseas. Like, some person swimming and you see their head bobbing out in the water, and then you see a dorsal fin and a tail fin,
And then you don't see the person
Yeah,
anymore.
the guy and the people on the beach are screaming, and a boat makes it over there. Like, after the guy's gone under, he's been under for a few seconds. But you're like, what
Dead
do
or
you
alive?
do? I'm pretty sure he did not make it. But it's like, what do you do in that scenario?
That's why I stick to the suburbs. Who wants to be drugged down by talk about a horrible death?
Oh, no kidding.
I mean, not just the shark part alone, but then you're drowning too.
That's
And
exactly
panicking.
what I said. And Alan, you were more along the lines of, it's not a bad way to go.
I mean, I'd rather be like, how did you die? I got killed by a shark other than dying sitting on a toilet.
Alan wants the bragging rights.
Alan's compared, he'd rather die by getting killed by a shark versus a heart attack on the shitter, basically, is pushing too hard. They say that's like a major cause of death. Like,
Yeah.
basically, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying, like, fat, out of shape guys having a heart attack.
Elvis?
I'm not saying you, but they're saying that that's a big way that people die on the toilet. They're clogged up and they're trying too hard, and their heart goes out.
Blowout, and then it just
You have a
burn out too.
Again,
People are
this
learning
wasn't
a lot.
directed at you.
So full circle, I fully endorse what that guy did.
Okay, I wouldn't. I mean, that's, like I said, that's a cowboy. That's a man's man.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
I would have hated to see it, but I couldn't have stepped in to do anything about a brown bear. No, a deer or a turkey. Yeah, could I step in? Yes.
That point of stasis, though, like where that point in time where they're just traveling, they're motoring back to the island, and the bear's just hanging there. What is the bear thinking?
See, he's thinking, well, okay, so here's a point, though. A lot of times you see these animals get rescued. You know, we had a real wild clip one day that I think, was it Brandon Kwan, or I don't know who sent it to us.
The deer that was in the
Deer- it
duck
was
blind pit.
in a duck blind in the middle of a field or whatever. And you think about it, and yes, they're probably shitting their pants that a human is over there, but
Proverbial pants.
then they're also like, thank goodness they rescued me. A lot of times they'll look back and it's like have you ever seen that meme? It's like, I don't know, is it Jeremiah Johnson or I don't know who it is,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the guy's just like, he's looking back with like,
Yes, that is
like
Jeremiah
approval.
Johnson. Yeah.
I always feel like the deer or whatever animal, he looks back at the human, he's like, yes,
Thanks,
I
bud.
approve. Thanks, bud.
Yes.
Really got me out of a pickle.
Someone sent me that meme and they thought it was Brad Pitt. Like,
Ah.
that's Robert Redford.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious it's Robert Redford.
Not to this person. And they didn't know it was from Jeremiah. They didn't even know what Jeremiah Johnson was. They just know the meme.
I will say I've never seen Jeremiah Johnson.
Oh, it's awesome.
I would assume
Speaking
you
of
would.
bear attacks.
It happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
All right. Second piece of homework I did.
Jeez.
I would like the record to show Tim has no homework.
Except for the show.
You do that every week, though. That doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
That's just part of your job.
Okay. I'm glad we're making
I
this
do no
distinction.
homework every week, so
So you're getting a bonus this
yes,
week.
we're gonna make a big deal
Ooh,
out
let
of
the
this.
record show that.
All right.
Bonus.
There's another clip I've been seeing a lot. This was maybe a week or two ago.
Okay.
There was these kayakers. I don't know where they were at. Off the coast of California somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of whales, and they're like watching them. These kayakers are too close,
Whale
or
watching.
paddleboarders, or they're too close to them as they're feeding.
Back up, Kenny.
Have you seen this?
I don't think so.
And apparently it was filmed back in 2020, but it just resurfaced. And it was a large humpback whale comes up,
Just resurfaced.
and it resurfaced. Good call.
Oh, it was feeding.
It was feeding.
Yeah.
And it took the what was it? Let me get it right. It was a kayak, tandem kayak. And it looks like it swallows the kayakers. And then the video stops.
Whoops. They gone.
Well, it turns out they lived. And they didn't even realize they got swallowed.
Oh.
Like, it's like he got a bad piece of meat. He's like, "Bah,
Seems like this is a story
this
from
isn't-
the Old Testament.
this isn't tuna or whatever humpback whales eat. I don't know what
They're
eat.
probably eating plankton. So a lot of times they'll like
Tim knows something about
school
humpback
this stuff
whales.
up. Big into cetaceans. They'll school these things up and then they'll come from underneath and just
I'm big into
them all up.
citations. Get them
Ooh.
often.
slow it down, son.
That's right.
That would be a terrible thing to happen. And like I imagine for them, it was just light. They're enjoying the sea, and then all of a sudden it's dark.
The paddle boarders or
Yeah, not the
kayakers or
plankton.
whatever. Well, but this goes to the point of like, hey, if you see wildlife, you see these idiots in Yellowstone all the time, and if you see wildlife, do you have to get involved? Do you have to get so close? I get it. Like most of these people don't see wildlife probably.
Mhm.
So like, oh, Disney, these are great.
Yes.
And they're just idiots. It's like, you can't get that close.
It's that. So it's romanticizing nature, which is nature is completely indifferent to you. And it's freaking social media.
Yeah. Yeah. It's for the gram. Off the
Mhm.
gram.
Yeah, both those things are colluding right now.
I don't have this in front of me, but I swear I just saw a guy, and I thought it was Yellowstone or something like that, where he was helping maybe a baby bison,
Ooh.
like was struggling, to walk. He was going to help it across the road.
Mhm.
Well, the entire herd disowned the damn thing
Oh,
from
heck.
the human scent on it, and he died. And I feel like that guy got fined.
He's-
He did, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty large fine. And you see, I feel like you get a lot of these videos out of Yellowstone. And it's not just like foreigners. It's a lot of people from America too that are just doing stupid stuff.
Yep.
And they're getting close, or maybe they're getting close to an elk, and the elk comes and gores them and all kinds of stuff.
Well, out at Lone Elk County Park here in the St. Louis area, there are it's a big high fence
Yeah.
county park, and they've got bison, they've got elk, and they've got signs up also that say, "Do not approach the bison, do not approach the elk." In fact, they've left the signs up that say it's mating season, don't approach the elk. It's not mating season year round for the elk.
But people don't know.
But yeah, and people are constantly saying, "Hey, these things scratch the heck out of my car. Who's gonna pay for this?" Like, well, they're still wild animals.
Yeah.
And they're gonna do what they're gonna. Well, there was a clip of someone filming a baby moose, like running away from a grizzly bear somewhere out west, and this car, the guy filming is in a car. He comes down the road, and the bear sees the car and kind of calls off the pursuit. And the baby moose is like, I don't know where to go, and started to walk back in the woods. The bear comes back, and like it's this off and on chase. And people are so shocked by this, and eventually the baby moose kind of runs back into the grizzly's area, and the grizzly takes it down. People are surprised by this. It happens every day.
Oh, yeah.
This is how the world works. It's just that people are shocked when they finally get to see it. It's like, yes, nature can be very brutal.
All right, this is a perfect segue for my last piece of homework, Tim. And this wasn't planned.
But it was homework.
Tim.
I don't think so, Tim.
All right. So that's a good segue. I was reading an article, Becca Garris, who is like
In a book.
She's a freelance writer for Outdoor Life, but she has an Instagram page, over 100,000 followers. She's kind of famous for traditional archery, but usually with a baby in tow or
Human
her
baby.
kids, on her back, and really awesome. She's a great follow. And she's a freelance writer for Outdoor Life. So I saw this article on Outdoor Life's website if you want to check it out. So her topic was harvest versus kill, the term that people use, which is a kind of not an age old, because it's within the last 20 years, I'd say, you've started seeing it, and we've been part of that evolution. Certainly, Mark and Terry said it a lot, and it's all right. As a hunter, what do you say? Harvest or kill? So first, I ask you, what do you say?
Depends on the company.
Yep.
So if they are people who I know hunt, or at least friendly with hunting, I will say kill. If it's people who I think are probably anti-hunting or will probably lean that way, I will say harvest or take, or there's another word I throw in there, but I try to avoid the word kill.
Yeah. So that's exactly how I do it. And I've seen, through the years, Mark and Terry, it's basically all they say is harvest anymore. And, we've took a lot of crap for that, especially back, 10, 15 years ago, we were really taking some heat over it. And I get your average hunter's mentality is like, this is dumb. Why would you dumb down what we do? We're killing. And, why sugarcoat it? But it's exactly to the point that you made and that we were kind of talking about with these people. It's like they're not exposed to it at all whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And so the word kill just has a very negative connotation anymore for a lot of reasons. It's a hot topic issue. So it lessens that blow a little bit for people that just could totally be turned off to what we do right out of the gate because you said you went out and you killed a deer, you killed a turkey or whatever. Yeah. So I tend to lean that way as well. But within our circles, I never say harvest. I would never say harvest. And I don't know, on this podcast, I'd probably lean more towards kill than harvest. I don't know. Maybe what was that guy's name that watched every episode?
Oh, Phil.
Maybe Phil could tell us.
I usually say shot at and watched run away.
Shot at and missed.
Yes. Well, and you
know what? I never say kill because it'll kill you.
It doesn't happen. I did not read that piece that Becca wrote, and I don't know if she covered this, but there is a distinction between killing and murdering, and I don't think that non-hunters make that distinction.
Correct.
Murder indicates that there is malice in your intent. You intend to, you hate this individual or this thing so much that you have to end its life. And that's not at all what is happening in hunting. It's killing.
Yeah, she covers that a little bit in her article about the difference, and the difference that she looked up the word harvest and, X amount of years ago, it had nothing to do with hunting. But now you look it up and it does have a part of that definition is talking about hunting.
Sure.
And she quoted some people that I guess she did a poll on her Instagram page or somewhere on social media. And there was a lady that said that she was new to hunting and when she saw the word harvest, it made her feel better that she could then use a word amongst people that don't hunt, her friends, that made it sound a little more field to fork and, I guess lessen the blow a little bit.
That reminds me, the other word I use is sourced.
Sourced.
I sourced this deer here locally because people love eating local. They love the fact that their meat isn't coming from some...
It's kind of like a hip thing to say.
Yes.
You're a hip guy. I look at you.
I set trends.
Yes.
When one trend I'm hoping to influence is the crappiness among specifically turkey
Triscuit
hunters.
eaters? Oh.
But
Okay,
we're going to have like a woven wheat versus Triscuits dichotomy going down the rack pack. No, I put an article on DeerCast last week. I know it's after turkey season, so it hit a little bit later than I would have liked, but it's essentially addressing all the critics out there who are complaining about people who use decoys and blinds and reaping
for sure, which we talked about through the Longbeard Legend series a little bit.
And I didn't want the article to be about those specific issues, but more about whenever you criticize people, I just don't think it works. Like it
works in the echo chamber that you're talking in.
You may scare some people, like coerce them into doing what you see as the orthodox way of doing whatever, but you don't really change anyone's minds or hearts. Like you do that by influencing and showing people how good it could be if they did it this other way.
Yeah. Which some of those major detractors on like the meme pages, I think they are doing it. They're showing it how they would prefer to do it, but it does come off. And I don't. We take shit on those pages. Like I don't mind any of that.
Sometimes it's funny
satire. Sometimes it's real. Sometimes it's hey, it's a gut check. Sometimes it's very off based, and you just kind of take the good with the bad. Mm-hmm. And hey, you're quote unquote a public figure, so you got to kind of that comes with it.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it. And sometimes it's like I could see the point here. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times it comes off too as a holier than thou. My way or the highway. And that's the part, to your point, that it's like, it's a kind of a turnoff,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just not doing any good.
So,
but wherever we can, like if we can, back to the conversation about what we call hunting, whatever we can do to inspire and encourage people, that's energy well spent. And that's harder to do than just crapping on someone's method or how they're talking about hunting or whatever. But I would just much rather inspire and try to encourage.
Well,
folks.
You're an inspiring kind of guy, just like this.
Hey. I'm ready to charge into my day now.
I'm inspired.
Let's do it. Yeah, we're not murdering animals. We're killing animals when we have the opportunity.
All right, let's get into the real wild clip.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm through my homework.
All right, this was from another DeerCast user. So this is kind of crazy. We got two predators.
So the real wild clip of the week, it's brought to you by Silencer Central. Let's see what we got. Alan, let's see.
You got a raccoon walking through the edge of the timber there, some corn.
If you're hunting, you're thinking a big giant buck's about to come out. You finally see it. It's a raccoon.
There's something behind the raccoon, though, in the corn. Oh, here it comes. It's a bobcat. He's treed this raccoon.
Holy cow.
And the raccoon is kind of facing off against it. The raccoon continues up the tree. The bobcat's stuck about 10 feet up.
This is amazing. I've never seen this clip.
And the bobcat decides, do I want to go up?
It's too much work.
Yep, too much work. And that's really it. It's all an equation for predators. Am I going to expend more calories chasing this food down than I will by actually ingesting it?
That's how I feel. Like, it's just going to cost.
It's all an equation.
That's right.
Doing the math in your head.
Yep. If I move to the
Casey's Pizza.
If I move to the pantry, I'll burn 5 calories. But if I eat what I want, I'll take 500.
You are a finely tuned machine.
Man, that's crazy to watch how efficient they are at climbing, though. Like even that. That bobcat got up there a pretty good way.
I was surprised the bobcat did not continue on up the tree.
Yeah, totally could have. You know, he's got the capability to keep going.
But you don't know, like maybe his stomach's half full and he's only kind of hungry. So he's thinking, oh, maybe I can snag a field mouse or something later on.
He just kind of walks back into the cornfield. I bet the coon's like, thank goodness. I almost died.
If the coon had pants, he'd be pooping.
You think like there's another coon somewhere in there and is like, Bob almost just died.
Did you see what happened to Frank? Yeah, that's nuts.
Oh, watch this. He's like, okay. And then, oh my God, I almost lost my tail.
The raccoon doesn't seem to have a whole lot of urgency.
I don't think he realized
at the base of the tree.
I don't think he realized
it's very possible that
tree.
bobcat was just stalking him. Yeah, he didn't know.
I mean, those bobcats are stealthy.
Very stealthy.
Yeah. That's a pretty cool clip. Do we have the name of who sent that in?
No, it came in like a year or two ago on DeerCast. It was like back in.
So after that, they're nameless people.
Well, the way I had to find the video was nameless.
How'd you source it, Tim?
Go through our media player to find it.
How'd you harvest this clip?
I killed this clip. I think we just killed it.
We murdered it, actually.
Thank you to whoever did that. If you're in the Rack Pack and that was yours, let us know.
That awesome clip. Thank you for whoever you are. That Tim doesn't
Thank you
know.
for Tim for sourcing it.
Huge.
Well, while we're in the process of helping people, enlightening people, how about we jump into our question of the day?
All right. So the question of the day.
You're sick.
It could be any
No.
day.
Matt's calling it.
So we were driving home from the lake yesterday and like feeling like crap. And I'm just, it's about a 2.5 hour drive. And so it's not horrible, but we're sitting in the truck and Randa's like trying to fall asleep. And I listened to
Our podcast?
Howard Stern a lot
Oh.
because I have Sirius XM. And so it's one of the channels. And
Uh-huh.
I get that's where a lot of my humor comes from. Like that's my type of humor.
Sure.
Anyways, it was going on and on. I don't even know what the segment was about, but it was one of his skits and all this and that. And Randa looks at me, she's like, "You're sick," like because I was laughing.
Was she
and
just
liked
now
it.
realizing that?
No, she knows it.
Okay. Just driving home the point.
Yeah, I mean, she's like, "Why do you find this funny?" It's like, I don't know. I'm a child.
Yeah.
I find a lot of stupid things funny. It's my humor.
Don't be surprised.
So, anyways, just a side note here.
No, I'm glad you drove home the point.
Besides being sick in nature, I'm sick in the head.
Mentally. Well,
Yeah.
you're going to struggle with the wildlife.
So if there's a part in here that says proudly, it's not probably you guys, it's proudly. All right. So the question of the day is proudly presented by Sportsman's Channel, your home for juries, natural born, and everything red, wild, and blue. It's actually Winchester and juries. Did you do this, Tim?
I was sick.
I don't think so, Tim.
All right. So Stephen Mansfield, let's hear what you got.
What is your favorite time of the season to hunt? Up here in Canada, we like the beginning of November through the middle.
Stephen?
My favorite part of these questions
Them yelling at us?
imagining what's happening to the person while they're trying to do this. Stephen, thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
Reach
I
out
mean,
to
you
us
shit
via
on
the
us.
Rack Pack. Shoot me a message. We'll get you a podcast hat. We'll do that with anyone. There's a link in every set of show notes. You can click it, record us a voicemail. We may or may not make fun of you when we listen to it, but we always appreciate them.
We do. And we need more. So
Yes.
go ahead and leave some.
Ask us questions.
All right. So what's your favorite time of the season to hunt?
I like, Halloween in the first week there of November.
Oh, here's breaking news.
Should I have made something up?
No.
Also September 15th.
Yeah. That's not my favorite.
I know.
Too hot.
I look forward to the season so much and I can't not be out there.
I like early October. And if we
'Cause that's
actually
really the start of your hunting.
typically, I mean, I'll go one or two times in September on a cool front. It depends what our food plots look like. It makes a hell of a lot more fun early season like that if we have good food source because they're coming to it. And that was it. Greener pastures is, I think it's phase 2. But anyways, that's right there in that early October time frame. Mark and Terry have done it for years. I've not been as fortunate, but you can
Killing
kill
right out of the
big
bat.
deer during
Yeah.
that time frame. But in my experience, we have had great opportunities. We just haven't sealed the deal, but we've had some really good opportunities early in October like that.
Mhm.
And so I like it because you're still so fresh in the season. So you're still excited about it. It hadn't been a grind yet. You haven't pissed off your wife. It's
Life is good.
life is pretty good. And the other reason why I love that time of year, because if you do kill, it sets the tone for the whole year. Like it's a cakewalk, whether or not you want to keep hunting and shoot some does, or if you want to,
Big confidence. builder.
it's a confidence builder. It's, hey, I'm going to go hop around from state to state. If you have the means to do so, it sets the tone.
Mhm.
But man, if you get through early October and then you hit the lull, and then you get to late October, and then if you have a shitty rut and it's warm, which has been the case a lot, this is like, oh my goodness, what happened to my season?
2022 all over again for me.
Yeah, so early October for me. Love it.
The only reason I, aside from just really loving to be out bow hunting, I would really like to kill a velvet buck. And
so that's where September 15th comes into play.
It's a long shot to be able to do that here in Missouri where we are, but it's the best shot that I've got.
I don't know why that doesn't trip my trigger. I don't really. I mean, they're neat looking.
Yeah.
But I don't really care one way or the other. Like, it'd be awesome, but if not, oh well.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is about a velvet buck that really appeals to me, other than they look really cool.
Well, they still got that summer coat too. It almost, they look like a totally different animal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, thanks, Steven. Sorry, Tim made fun of you like a jerk.
That's how you know you're in the rack pack.
Is he in the rack pack though?
Probably.
Check it. Alan, check to see if Steven Mansfield's in the rack pack.
And if he's not, we're gonna make fun of him. Well, we got the boys in the truck working on that problem. We're gonna jump into the wildlife word. It's brought to you by Tracker Off-Road. Get all your whitetail work done this summer with the power and dependability of a Tracker Off-Road vehicle.
Woo-wee. Scotty was using his this past week, spraying food plots.
Scotty on the Tracker
It's sitting
Off-Road.
it's sitting in the parking lot right now.
Looking good too.
Yeah.
Tim got it washed last week. So we should say Connor Hebner posted in DeerCast. Connor is the made up person that won the fake Tracker Off-Road contest that we ran last year.
I saw that this morning. I just commented on it. He had his kids, and it looked like they're enjoying it, loving the tracker.
Yep. Yeah.
So what Tim's referring to in DeerCast, we do a tracker giveaway we have for the past couple of years, and real people. It's a real tracker, and real people win it. And they actually received the tracker. Tim's got a picture. Just go to DeerCast. Oh, so that's where right now you could go to DeerCast, hit the giveaway tab at the bottom lower right, and you can sign up. You can only sign up once, I think.
Yep.
And you're entered for the year. You can sign up right now to win a brand new Tracker 800, which we give away. We pick the winner like mid-December.
It's the pancake breakfast. We do it every year.
So it's a cool giveaway. I mean, and those trackers, they're surprisingly quiet.
And powerful.
For a gas-powered side-by-side, it's surprisingly quiet.
Yeah.
So
So congratulations to Connor. That's cool.
All right. What's the wildlife word?
Okay. Cactus bucks. Speaking of velvet.
Okay.
Cactus bucks are given this name due to their squatty, globular, irregular antlers. This condition is often the result of damage to their A, pedicles, B, testicles, C, vesicles, or D, popsicles.
What type of popsicle?
Flavor ice.
Oh, no. It can't be D.
No, I want me a Popeyes deer.
I believe I know this answer. I believe it's B.
Boom. You, sir, are right.
Yeah. You thought I was going to get it wrong.
I thought you were going to laugh a lot more than you did and giggle.
I am sick.
I guess you're growing up.
No, I'm just sick.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
feel not all here today.
Not 100%. It's the 90% Wild Podcast.
Yeah, I think we've had team members over the years kill deer that have had that deformity, and so I kind of knew about that. So I don't remember. Maybe Joe Schultz I feel like Joe Schultz killed a big one like that before, and back in the day, and I think we've had a few over the years.
Well, and the damage can be either from actual trauma to the testicles, or, and I learned this from, it's not homework, but just the regular work that I do. It was like if a deer has EHD, that it can impact the amount of blood flow to their testicles, indirectly damaging them, which could cause a cactus buck antler scenario.
Imagine that if you got just kicked in the square in the, Rochambeau'd, you just got kicked real hard. And then like your ears started like drooping. Like one's got a second ear coming out of it.
That's what they call insult to injury.
Be a hell of a kick.
Oh yeah, it would. And everyone would know it too.
Yeah.
It would be your like life's shame for the rest of your days.
Oh, he's got cactus ears.
Oh, he got kicked in the groin. We've got no shout outs to mention this week.
So the people are failing us.
You people just listen to the show.
You people.
Enjoy it. And then go about your daily business. We need some shout outs. We need some ratings too. And liking and subscribing.
Okay. And Jeopardy questions.
That'd be fun.
Maybe there should be an email address. Could we give your email address out, Alan?
We'll make a new one.
He says no.
That's a no.
Okay, I got an email address. Let's go to comments, COMMENTS at druryoutdoors.com
There you go.
and leave Jeopardy questions. Well, no, I see those. Never mind. Don't
And
send
they're-
it there because I see all those. Okay, send it there and then I'll have a leg up on Tim.
Matt seems to be doing surprisingly well. And these are not questions. These are going to be answers.
Well,
That's how Jeopardy, if you want Jeopardy style.
well, wouldn't they supply both?
Hopefully.
Like it's kind of like your wildlife word. It'd be like a board full of like testicle questions.
the difference with the wildlife
then-
word is these are all made up.
Yeah. Well, didn't I just say? Oh, I told you. What was it? Last week's? Was it last week's that you said
Yeah,
that,
it
or a
was
week
a
before?
couple weeks ago, I
Well,
think.
You recap that.
About fawns not being able to go to the bathroom unless they're stimulated by the dough.
Gross. And I said I was listening to Joe Rogan and what guest did I say he had on with him?
It wasn't a biologist. They were like shooting the breeze about deer
And
hunting.
they brought it up, and they Googled it, and they called BS.
Yeah, we'll have to do some more digging into that one.
But you actually got it from like Outdoor Life or somewhere?
QDMA or
QDMA.
NDA.
Yeah, that's right. India, yeah. So your source I tend to believe more than the internet, but
Shooting the breeze.
could go either way. All
Okay.
right, so
So no shout outs, so we're gonna sit here in silence. Okay, that's enough.
all right. So let's welcome some new Rack Pack members. You can go over to Facebook, type in Dre Outdoors Rack Pack, and join this merry band of nitwits and misfits.
Nitfits.
Nitfits.
Miswits.
All right, so here's some new names. There's always a fake one in here. I always butcher all. All right, Timmy Napier, Brandon Moore, or is it Napier?
Ooh.
Timmy,
I would say Napier.
he's sleepy, or else he's just got
he's
just nappy. Brandon Moore, Dylan Watson, Kyle B. Gray. Is he trying to be like an R&B singer?
Huh.
like he's a Backstreet Boy or something?
No doubt.
What am I saying?
Okay.
I sign my name Matthew W. Drury. So,
Oh, you do.
that's right.
You insist upon yourself.
Frederick Plink Wimfier. Plink
Plink doesn't sound like a real name
Plink?
at all.
Wimfire? Fair? Wimfair. What is it, Tim?
Looks like Plink Wimfio.
Fio? How you figure? It's Feyre.
Well, I made it up, Matt.
Okay, so we got the fake one. Well, I figured what's it got to Plink? All right, we got
What's up, Plink?
Mark Eldon Moore, Thomas Bertrand, fancy, Devin Wagner.
It's funny when people get made fun of for their last names because they can do nothing about it.
I'm not making fun. I'm making light of.
Oh, okay. It's a fine line, but you walk it beautifully.
Thank you, Tim.
Episode
Thank you, audience.
325 is in the books. If we solve some problems, change the world for the
we
better.
need to get some guests in here for next week.
Well, I mean, you and I were talking. This is historically just a tough season for hunting content.
It's our downtime, both not just for the podcast, like the entire company, social media, like
Everything.
views, whatever, everything. It just kind of slows down right through here through June. So I told Tim I didn't want to have our best guests right here in the lowest time frame because who would hear them?
So you're stuck with
If
us.
you have a best guest and no one listens, did you have a guest at all?
Oh, it's a good question.
Could be on Jeopardy.
We're getting existential now. Did it even happen? Well, we can tell you with certainty next week will be episode number 326.
If we did Jeopardy, would we have a host, a guest host?
Your dad.
That would be awesome.
And
he'd
he'll just
play-
make
he'd make
fun of us.
The whole thing.
And Okay, Scott's got a Jeopardy template up. Yeah.
So we're gonna. This has to happen.
We've talked about it, so now it's got to.
Well, we talked about it internally, and it didn't happen. So I figured if we talk about it with a few people listening,
so there's some accountability.
Force us to do it. I think it's a good idea.
Oh yeah.
If we could have Joe make us a graphics board with Jeopardy questions, and it's just like, I don't know what the topics could be, but like some.
There's got to be a potpourri.
Some
column.
silly. Maybe there's a cracker question like. Triscuit, wheaten,
Yeah. And we'll
but
get
there's
sponsors.
facts about it. This could be tough though if it's not multiple choice.
Well,
I mean, I could just sit here the whole time and not answer one damn thing.
It could be a whole lot of.
Maybe I'm the host.
There you go.
Yes. And then we'll get some other know-it-all
Terry
in here.
can come in and participate.
That's right. Go toe to toe.
Okay. Well, stay tuned, folks. This is an idea in the evolution.
If another podcast knocks this off, I'm going to be TO'd and PO'd and all those things. I'm going to be mad.
Really upset. You won't like me when I'm angry.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
And now we're going to talk about them.
All right.
Well, let's shut this thing down. Thanks, guys, for hanging with us.
I got some drugs to go take.
Over the counters? Okay.
I mean,
Matt's all hopped
if
up
you're
on
at a
horse
bar,
tranquilizers.
you got one. It's a counter. No. It's over-the-counter Walgreens type stuff, Tim.
Ivermectin. Nice job.
Horse dewormer up there. Head cold.
You'll be clean as a whistle, though. No worms for you this week.
Thank God.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
See ya. Peace out.
DeerCast is now supercharged with maps. Get ahead of your game with killer new features like live Doppler radar, wind check out to 5 days, virtual rain gauges, GPS path tracking, and more. Plus, get our 14-day revolutionary DeerCast prediction and access to DeerCast Track. Prep, predict, and pursue with DeerCast.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV was brought to you by Leupold.